Welcome to our channel, Bantu Holy Scripture Inspired. In this chapter we explore the topic, how the body charges. A charge is stored energy which fuels the body's activities. The body charges by converting the energy provided into a charge. The body sources energy internally and externally. The solid part of the body is the part that absorbs external energy and converts it into a charge to increase the charge in the liquid. The closer to its optimum point or the closer to its original self, the cleaner/purer/holier the body is, the more charge the body can maintain, and conversely, the more toxins the body has, the less charge it can maintain. So cleansing the body allows the body to attain a higher charge when absorbing energy from different energy sources. Cleansing allows for better energy flow within the body. There are different areas where external energy is absorbed and converted into a charge, e.g. the digestive tract, the respiratory tract, the brain, the eyes, the ears, and the skin. The digestive tract is the part of the body that absorbs food, solid and liquid, energy and converts it to a charge. The skin, the lungs, the ears, and the brain area are the parts of the body that process energy from the air energy. The skin and eyes are the parts of the body that absorb sun energy. These areas of energy absorption can absorb other energy sources as well to a certain extent, but they primarily perform as indicated above. The skin alone can absorb energy from the ground, from natural salt in water, electrolyte solution, from the air and from the sun. When you are walking naked outside, the body is in contact with all these sources of energy. This means you are constantly plugged into and receiving energy from all these energy sources from birth until you start blocking this energy source with sunscreen, lotion, and clothes. The body can also absorb energy transferred from one person to the next through prayer. Emotions are a source of internal energy and can increase or reduce the charge in your body. Positive emotions like laughter and love provide the body with energy internally, and negative emotions like anger and hatred drain energy from the body. The body is directly connected to the source of life through your ancestral lineage. This connection is not visible as it forms part of the less dense part of the body which our eyes are not able to see due to the low energy levels of the body. Your eyes can only see a particular range of density based on the amount of energy your body has. Connecting to your ancestors is activating the connection to the source, as ancestors are the channel that brought you to the earth. Creating energy pathways for spiritual energy, like prayer healing, preaching, and traditional healing, is creating a pathway for the energy from the source to flow via your ancestors through your parents to you, providing your body with energy. These energy paths can create sufficient charge to sustain the body without any outside influence, but they have to be opened sufficiently to be able to sustain the body without the outside energy if your parents were not sufficiently charged at your conception. Your parents are an important link to your ancestors, as it is through them you are brought to the world, and therefore your energy channel goes via them. If you disturb your relationship with your parents, you disturb the energy channel flowing to you. It is therefore important to always have good relations with your parents in order to strengthen your energy flow. This is partly why Bantu culture has families living in the same yard. Success in converting this energy from the source into a charge is dependent on various factors like how clean the body is, your overall charge, what energy pathways were transferred to you, and your biological makeup, to mention a few. The traditional initiation process called Ukothwasa is a process designed to open these pathways to create a charge from the energy you are receiving and teach you how to utilize the energy the way it was intended to be used. If you inherit certain open energy pathways, you are born with the ability to absorb certain type of energy relating to certain activities that your ancestors performed. This ability would have been passed on through your parents and their ancestors who performed certain activities that required that particular type of energy. Your ancestry affords you the ability to perform some activities that only a select few are able to perform, e.g. healing people through prayer by channeling energy to a person with lower energy, interacting with the spirit world by providing the eyes with more energy to see more than the ordinary person can see, including the spirit world, etc. In some instances, your ancestors may have been involved in activities that blocked the energy flow while they were alive. A process called Ukothwala, as an example, blocks the energy from your ancestors and redirects it to another channel that is able to influence the universe on your behalf so that you can receive certain benefits. That usually blocks your access to the energy from the source, creating sickness in you or scarcity in your life as your energy path goes via your ancestors. That blockage can generally be unblocked through the physical body as it requires interaction with the material world, which only those with the physical body can do. In most cases, it can only be unblocked by a person who is in the same lineage as the one who caused it, as it requires accessing a particular energy path that leads to a particular lineage. When you go to a medium, e.g. a Sangoma, the Sangoma may tell you to perform certain rituals to communicate with your ancestors to correct whatever they did or failed to do while they were alive. There are some conditions, including illnesses, that are cured simply by talking at a particular place like the sea, river, or your original home. A large part of spiritual initiation requires repeated practicing of the ability that you are receiving. When you repeatedly perform an activity, you are unblocking the energy path related to the activity the charge provides until that energy can flow through. This awakens the natural intelligence of the cells relating to that activity. The cells then recall how it is performed and perform it in that particular manner effortlessly without much participation from the brain in controlling its performance. The more you practice the activity, the more the energy path is opened and the better at it you become. An example is healing through prayer. When somebody teaches you to heal through prayer, they cause you to perform the healing repeatedly, thus unblocking the energy path related to healing. The cells automatically absorb and channel the energy to flow through you to the target person without the participation of the brain, increasing the target person's energy. The more healing energy you channel, the more healing energy you receive, thus opening the pathway even more. The saying, "the more you give, the more you receive," relates to that universal law of attraction which describes the flow of energy. The utilization of energy attracts the same type of energy. This is why if you are continuously saying negative things and are generally negative about your life, more negativity will come your way because you are creating a flow of negative energy. Prayer directed to you from a person who is able to channel the energy can also raise your energy levels to a point where the pathway is opened, fast-forwarding the process of autonomous cell activity. Herbs can also be used to assist the opening of the pathway. When you have an offspring and you are a regular healer, you transfer that open pathway to your offspring. Your offspring will learn quicker to heal. If the offspring learns from an early age to heal and practices regularly, the offspring will be an excellent healer because the energy pathway was activated from an early age, which allows the offspring to perform the activity from an early age, thus opening the energy path more and more. The continuous performance of the activity creates a flow of energy which creates a charge that increases the overall charge of the body. The more you practice, the better you become. The more natural the ability, and the more natural it is performed, the more charge it will produce. When the energy path is opened in you and you continuously perform the activity, the offspring you produce at that point will even be better as they will start from a higher charge since the energy path is already open. This is why offspring of spiritually gifted people have the same gift as their parents. It is because the parents have transferred an energy path that has been opened to their offspring. As the offspring practices the gift, they become even better at it and transfer a bigger gift to their offspring. Because the gift is already activated, the energy then accumulates in them and needs to be utilized. Sometimes a person will decide not to utilize the ability for whatever reason. As the energy path is already open, the energy will continue to accumulate in the body and eventually start to destroy the body, resulting in sickness. The energy can also become stagnant in the body and attract lower energy life forms because it has started to lose some of its charge in the body. In the same way, stagnant water rots and smells because of life forms that start to grow in the water. The negative life forms create mental disorder like depression, schizophrenia, and other mental disorders. Lower life forms find stagnant energy with a lower charge and are able to feed off the energy. The lower energy life form may be a negative thought created in a person's mind, looking to fulfill its destiny as that created thought. A thought created is an influence looking for a living host to influence with the goal to be transformed into an action or to be acted out. For it to be acted out, it requires energy to be able to exert more influence until the influenced host starts to act out the thought. As it gains energy, the thought gains more influence. Feeding on the stagnant energy, it starts to influence the host to think in the same way as it. As it gains more strength, the host begins to think in a similar fashion as the influencing thought, or the host's vibration starts to change to be closer to that of the influencing thought. As the host starts to think in a similar fashion as the influencing thought, the host creates more thoughts similar to the influencing thought. The influencing thought grows like a bacterial infection, except it is a mental infection. These thoughts create a bigger influencing thought than the original thought and start to influence the host even more. The host is thus influenced more and begins to assimilate the thought pattern of the influencing thought. The host starts to become depressed and acts based on this influencing thought. This provides the thought more energy, allowing it to exert more influence, creating a snowball effect. The host becomes more and more depressed and feels worthless if the underlying feeling of the thought was depression. The thought has now gained a lot of energy as it has captured the mind of the host to think in a way and provides it with a constant flow of negative energy. As it is a negative thought, its natural growth is to increase its negativity. This thought frequency is, however, detrimental to the host. As it gains more energy and influence from the stagnant energy and the constant negative thoughts, it isolates the host from any constructive thoughts and or vibrations of a higher frequency from outside, so it can constantly influence the host. It is also much stronger as a concentrated thought as it has gained more energy, and so it is able to tolerate a slightly higher charge. The negative energy also creates negative emotions against the host from people around, as all persons will naturally shun and or are intolerant of negative energy. As the host's energy levels decrease, the mind itself moves closer to the negative thought trend. The ultimate destination for the host is destruction from the infecting parasitic life form if no intervention is made to cleanse the negative energy in the person. Once the host has died, it then moves to the next person using more energy and a much bigger influence with a slightly higher tolerance. It will gain quicker access to another person with the closest vibration and a low charge and or with stagnant energy, coming with a stronger influence. This is why depression is said to be hereditary. This is just one way mental illnesses like depression are created. Cleansing the person and the environment should remove depression. The cleansing will depend on how it was created. Protecting and strengthening yourself and the home is protecting your family from mental illness, amongst other benefits. This is also the same way physical sickness is created, through stagnant solid waste and liquid mucus in the body, resulting in the mucus either solidifying, creating conditions like gout and arthritis, or supporting other life forms like bacteria, a condition described as an infection. It is therefore important that each family analyze its history to identify the energy that is prevalent in that family or to understand the gifts that family has. This allows the family to channel their offspring towards that energy direction, as that is the direction that will ensure success and prevent energy from stagnating and creating complications. The dreams will guide each person on what the gift is and how it should be utilized. If the family has healers, then the offspring should accept the gift and use it by leaning towards a healing profession. If the family has royal blood, then management is the best profession to lean towards. For effective use of the gift, though, the gift will require to be utilized the way it was intended. Following a family tradition was achieved naturally with a Bantu, as a Bantu followed their calling and the offspring learned from the parents by observing and working with the parents. This also made it easy for the offspring to follow in their parents' footsteps as they grew up working with the parents. Where there was a need to learn more than what the family could teach, the offspring would be sent to another family to learn, with guidance from the ancestors. When a man takes a wife, part of the wife's responsibilities is to learn the traditions and family gifts so as to pass them on to her offspring. Well, that's all on this topic for now. For a deeper and detailed engagement on the topic, please don't hesitate to drop your comments and questions below. We will welcome any learning path created or extended from this video. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Please stay tuned for our next video on transferring energy into performance.